Looks like we have a Satanist to begin. Yeah. In the name of Jesus, I repudiate this unclean spirit. Was that your question? Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. Not today, Satan. Not today at Illinois State University.
Pretty.
There was less unemployment, and if it hadn't been passed, there would have been more unemployment.
Okay. Have the deficit to run on. What do they have to run on exactly? Fascist!
You want to talk?
Mark, that's right. So I would just say, I
Why?
Get a real job!
think our campus.
Where do you think you're from?
Charlie, how much money do you make?
Not enough to deal with you guys.
With me, I have a sign here. True Christians love everyone. Would you say you believe in this sign?
Yes, but define love.
Find love? It's a respect. You respect someone enough to not judge them, to not hate them for what they're doing, no matter what it is.
Do you lie to people you love?
Do I lie to people I love? Not often enough. And I don't lie about...
Should we, in the ideal, when you love somebody, should you lie to them?
Depends on the lie. Say you have a sibling and they have a dress on and it is just ugly, the ugliest thing you've ever seen. Are you going to tell them that dress is ugly, you need to change it, you horrible person?
Yes. In fact, I'll do it in a way that is filled with love, but I love my sister so much that if I feel if she's going to leave the house and be made fun of, I won't let her do that, because that's what love is all about. You see, love
But are
is
you
not...
going to make her feel ugly saying that?
Well, no, in fact...
How would you say it to make them not feel ugly?
I would say, listen, I care a lot about you. I think that maybe you should change that outfit, or let's see what other outfits
What
you
if
might
she's
have.
like, no, I spent a lot on this, I'm really proud, I think this looks great. Are you going to say that what she thinks look great doesn't look great to you?
I would say, look, you can obviously wear whatever you want, but I want to caution you that if you wear that dress out in public, it might not be received the way you think it would be received. I would be remiss not to say that if I actually loved my sister. I'd be remiss, because love is not affirmation. Love is not confirmation. Love is making sure that you care so much about the other that you're willing to challenge and point out flaws when you see them and have the courage to articulate it. That's what love is. So who ran Gaza up until 2005?
Same thing.
No, Israel did. Israel used to occupy the Gaza Strip. 10,000 Jews left Gaza. The IDF totally withdrew. Why did Israel do that?
You tell me, you're the one at the table.
To pursue peace, because they were promised a peace deal if they got out of Gaza.
And then?
Then Hamas took over as mayor of Gaza, and it's now a hot tub for terrorists, where there are thousands of rockets every single month.
Where was the peace that happened after they withdrew?
Exactly. Israel signed a peace accord, and the PA violated it.
But
So this is the way peace...
occupying territory.
They weren't occupying, they got out.
But you just said Israel occupied that territory.
Correct.
In Gaza until they got out. So that's not.
No, but they got out on a condition of peace. So they said, we will get our 10,000 Jews out of Gaza. So 10,000 Jews used to live in Gaza.
Failed to recognize that they were occupying someone's territory, and that's
Well, so who is Gaza's territory? Whose is that?
It's Palestinian.
Egypt. It's been Egypt for 2,000 years. Okay. So since you understand this, maybe, how did Israel win back that territory?
Sinai deal.
Right. So in the 1967 war, they pushed back Egypt all the way to their borders, and so they gave up the Sinai Desert in pursuit of peace with Egypt. That worked.
That worked.
So then they kept the occupation of Gaza, which there's factories and rolling hills and vineyards, a lot of wealth there. There's 2 million people that live in Gaza, more or less. 10,000 Jews lived on the eastern skirt of Gaza. So in pursuit of peace, in the 2005 peace talks, Israel said, you know what? We want peace. As a condition, we'll get out if you guys have real peace with us. Stop launching rockets, stop building terror tunnels, stop killing our children, all these sorts of things. Are you pro-Hezbollah or?
Can I ask you a question?
Sure, happy to.
What formal education do you have?
Plenty.
I mean, formal education. There's like a
If you're going to argue from authority, that's a logical fallacy. Tell me why I'm wrong. Don't tell me how many degrees you have.
Don't ask me to change the conversation.
I'm actually,
What formal education-
I would argue I'm more informed because I didn't go to college and I've traveled the world and I've met with world leaders and I've read many books. So tell me,
Oppressive to a lot of minorities that you've met around the world.
how am I oppressive? Can you name one example of how I'm oppressive?
I can name a lot of examples.
Can you name one?
but I'm not
Name one
sure.
example of how I'm oppressive because you just
You are
said it.
literally here telling people that they are wrong about views and their.
Well, no, they just don't have facts. Can you tell me one time that I've been wrong about anything I've said? Tell me a time that Israel has launched an offensive war.
To Lebanon.
They didn't. They're attacking Hezbollah. It's within their
It
borders.
was to Lebanon. They don't just attack.
Hezbollah occupies southern Lebanon, which is Iranian funded, is it not?
Really? I had no idea. Thank you for informing me.
Anytime. Maybe if you didn't go to college, you would learn more.
Oh, you're so right. You're so right.
Here's the thing. But like IDF is a terrorist organization.
How is the IDF is a terrorist organization?
Yeah. No, according to a lot of people.
Wait, hold on a second. The
Maybe
ID.
not me, but like a lot of countries around.
Why is it that they haven't built a new school or hospital in the last 5 years? Hundreds of millions of dollars pour into Gaza. It's because Hamas runs Gaza right now, and they're a terrorist organization. So Israel got out of Gaza in 2005 in the pursuit of peace. 10,000 Jews were actually forced out of their homes in the pursuit of peace. Gaza got more dangerous. It became a hot tub for terrorists. You know where Hamas's money is being spent? On terror tunnels and rockets being shot towards Tel Aviv. Where were those 2 rockets shot 2 weeks ago out of? They were shot out of Gaza. Yeah, 2 rockets. Oh, what's the big deal? Yeah, who cares when Jews have rockets shot at them, right? Because Israel is fighting a defensive right for its own national sovereignty. All Israel has done since 1967 is go backwards. All Israel has done.
The UN sent an Asian diplomat, I forget his name exactly what it was, to go investigate crimes against humanity in Gaza. Israel did not allow him to enter Gaza because they said his visa wasn't valid, and that was published in an Israeli newspaper.
Okay, so I'll have to look into that. If that's the case, then I'll say that you're correct. But here's the question, though. So Israel is the only democracy in the Middle East right now. They're practicing democracy. Muslims, Jews, and Christians.
Israeli citizens vote in the upcoming elections then.
Well, they can. Hold on a second. First of all, many Palestinians in Palestinian Authority, that is in Zone B, not Zone A, can vote in elections. Secondly, here's the question: you want them to be able to vote both in PA elections and Israeli elections? Why hasn't the PA had an election in 12 years? Mahmoud Abbas is a dictator of the PA that uses the money and the aid that we give him to enrich himself. Mahmoud Abbas. Hold on a second. Hold on.
Palestinians don't support the PA, that's right.
Oh, hold on, but I thought he was democratically elected. So why don't you guys have students against the Palestinian Authority, not students against Israel? The Palestinian Authority.
Palestinian Authority isn't holding guns against Palestinian children.
Palestinian Authority was democratically elected 12 years ago. Mahmoud Abbas has not had any checks and measures against him. In Nablus, he lives in a 25,000 square foot mansion. Here's the bottom line: is that Arabs are better served under Israeli government than under the Palestinian Authority government. Arabs are. I'm sorry, what? Wait, I'm sorry, what?
When they're in the ground dead, that's where a majority of Palestinians end up.
What are you? A majority of Palestinians end up dead? How dare you say something like that? There's 15.5 million people that live in the Palestinian Authority. Half of them end up dead? So you're trying to tell me that 7.5 million Palestinians have been killed? Is that what you're trying to say?
7.5 million live in the. I've never seen that number.
Well, it's actually 15.5 million is if you count the PA and Israel together. You're right. It's more 6 million in Palestinian Authority, 9.5 million in Israel proper. So it's about 15 combined. So 6 million. So you're trying to tell me 3 million people have been killed? 3 million people have been killed by the IDF? That's not even close to being true. So let me ask.
Listen to me. There's a difference between Zionism and anti-Semitism.
Then build it out for me.
Because you don't support the state of Israel doesn't mean.
So let me get this straight. You don't hate Jews. You just hate the Jews' right to exist in their homeland.
You're not even Jewish. You can't speak for people who are Jews.
Okay.
Wait, hold on a second.
They're not black. You want me to exist, right?
Yeah, exactly. So that's one of the worst identity politics argument. Just because I'm not something, it doesn't make me wrong.
The issue is that you don't have
It's
an argument
apartheid
in
state of
place
Israel.
that's not in line with conservative politics.
How so?
Because there is no separation of church and state.
Then why can let me ask you a question? Why can Christians freely practice their religion in Israel, but Jews can't freely practice their religion in the Palestinian Authority?
How are Jews not
practicing it?
when you have
What happens if an Israeli citizen goes into a Bethlehem? What happens if a Jew goes into Bethlehem? If a Muslim goes into Jerusalem, they can go to a mosque. That's what happens.
Do you know what happens at Al-Aqsa? Do you know what happens?
Al-Aqsa Mosque?
People are turned away because they can't pray in their own place.
Well, hold on a second. They have full access to Al-Aqsa Mosque. I was there myself. I was around 500 Muslims on the Al-Aqsa Mosque. Hold on a second. Jews' heads are cut off in Hebron if they go to Hebron. Jews and Israelis are not allowed in Palestinian Authority.
Just in Hebron. I was just
So I was in Hebron 3 weeks ago. You know what happens? If a Jew goes to Hebron, their head will get cut off. Okay, so Jews are not allowed in the Temple Mount? You do know that, right?
No, I'm saying Palestinians, Muslims going into Al-Aqsa.
Right. So
Yes.
it's very hotly debated.
No, actually, when
No,
I
it
was
is.
there, I was praying at Al-Aqsa, and I saw IDF soldiers coming in while I was praying.
Did they stop you? Did they stop you from praying?
They throw like tear gas.
No, they don't. Not the Al-Aqsa Mosque. Did they stop you from praying?
I shouldn't be in fear while
But they don't do what you say they're doing. I'm just telling you, it's not true. Did they? But I don't think you're representing
I
reality.
was literally there.
So let me ask you a question.
She wasn't there, that wasn't happening, but she understood that it was happening in other times around that moment.
When I
I've
was there, you should not be able to prove your religion. You should be able, if a Muslim
okay.
wants
That's
to-
a really interesting point. So Jews should be allowed on the Temple Mount because the Muslims don't allow them on the Temple Mount right now. So Jordanian control the
But
Temple Mount.
It was since the Prophet Muhammad. It was there since the Prophet Muhammad.
Oh, okay. So do you think? Here's the thing. So do you think Jews should be allowed on the Temple Mount?
It's a.
So you don't think it's a Temple Mount, because if you do, that's the very interesting thing. If you just say it's a Temple Mount, I'm putting you admittedly in a very difficult position, because Muslims do not recognize it as the Temple Mount.
Right, they recognize it as their place of worship, and it's been that way since the beginning.
No, it's been the Temple Mount since King David. Thank you very much. So, I mean, you could say whatever you wanted to say. It's a huge point. It's actually it's one of the biggest inhibitions of peace. I think that Jews and Muslims and Christians should all be allowed to go to the Temple Mount. Right now, Muslims do not allow Jews to go into the Temple Mount. One rabbi is allowed to go in once a year. That's it. That's the treaty. Why is that? How is that fair? Why are Jews not allowed to go? But I mean, Muslims are allowed to go to their holy sites. You just said you were allowed to go.
Okay, but some people, it doesn't mean that other people aren't allowed to go.
And if that's the case, then I'll totally denounce it. But you are a living example that you were allowed to go now. So.
昨天晚上，美国参议院通过了一项决议。这项决议是由美国的佛罗里达州共和党参议员提出来的决议。他的决议就是把2025年10月14号，也就是查理·科克出生的这一天，查理·科克的生日定为美国查理·科克国家纪念日。也就是说，这样子的话说，美国人又多了一天的假期。
Dedicating his birthday, October 14, 2025, as National Day of Remembrance for Charlie Kirk.
今天，美国众议院想要通过一个提议，这个提议就是呢，谴责查理·科克被枪杀的这种暴力行为。其实就是这样一个人物呢，他只是通过表达自己的观点，来去参加一些校园的辩论，跟美国的一些学生呢举行和平的辩论。无论如何呢，也不应该被枪杀的。但是呢，被枪杀了呢，通过一种谴责的提议呢，我觉得也是无可厚非的。所有共和党众议员全部同意。美国的民主党众议员呢，有58个人投了反对票，有38个人投了没有反对也不支持票。在明尼苏达州，美国民主党众议员被入室谋杀的时候，所有共和党这个众议员都通过了这个谴责的行为。结果到了查理·科克被枪杀的时候呢，民主党众议员竟然有高达96名、上百名人呢，选择了袖手旁观。近期以来，美国的这个政治谋杀的行为呢，多是一些变性人。所以说，民主党人到底支持的是什么呢？
He just voted no. So there is the divide right there within the Democratic Party on a resolution that really should be bringing everyone together.
Voting present are 38. The resolution is adopted. Without objection, a motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
There it is. It has passed in the House, this resolution to honor Charlie Kirk.
Anxious point. I mean, this was a very simple resolution. It's just to honor the life of a man who was assassinated. There's no strings attached here, yet you had 58 Democrats vote no against it, just to